I was standing at the kitchen door, and Mark had gone down to the coop, and they'd all followed him down apart from this Cuckoo Maran, who was up here and out here, and I was in the kitchen, so some distance away, and I was looking at her, and she's still very tall, but I think over the last week or so she's gained weight and is looking more mature. And I think that intervention that I made for probably only 5 days of feeding her and giving her Marmite and bread and oil and egg, and what else did she have? Apple cider vinegar. What else did I give her? I can't even remember now. But I think, as I'd said, that she'd become sort of anorexic, so had lost interest in food. And what's happening now is she's eating, and when I go down and let them out in the morning, she looks to me, she's sort of, at first I'd pick her up and fetch her over and stand her next to the hopper, the food hopper, to encourage her to eat, and she'd start eating. And then more in probably the last 5 days, I've backed off and left her to her own devices, and I still see that she's coming for food. I still think she expects me to pick her up and feed her, and actually, because I thought she was up here on her own just now when Mark came back, I came out with bread, and of course everybody was here, but she got quite a decent amount of bread before everybody tucked in. Loads of mice, unbelievable amount of mice. I went down, when I got down there yesterday evening, we went to put them away, and Mark wasn't right behind me. I just went and stood in there, and the mice are not even running fast away. They're not scared of me turning up with my head torch on. In fact, some of them looked slow enough to think they'd been poisoned, which they haven't. So we had put traps down, and there were already 2 caught in the traps. And Mark's just he said there weren't any overnight. He's just reset the traps. The traps have been sprung, but there weren't any mice caught overnight. And he's actually put some poison down now, because there were like 10, 15 mice, and they breed so quickly if we don't get on top of it. They're peeing and pooing in the food hopper, which is, putting the chickens at risk of disease. So yeah. It happens every so often. You suddenly find that you're overrun. In fact, I put the trail camera down there last night. I haven't checked it yet. I'll do that. So she still limps heavily, but I am just being fatalistic, I suppose is the word. And we are a bit fatalistic with chickens, having lost so many. It's like she needs to be able to make it on her own now. I've intervened and got her this far, and I can't do any more. I'm looking at the colour of her comb and her wattle, and she's not very red. And I've seen her looking more red than that. I really don't know how old she is. Mrs. Brahma has lost even more feathers. She's lost feathers around her neck now. She looks dreadful. And when she flaps her wings, under her wings is just bare. I think she's probably finished dropping the feathers. There aren't any feathers coming out up here now. So she's managed to keep some. So the rain rained solidly for 12 hours at least. I only know about the 12 hours because I was awake. I don't know how much rain there'd been before I got up, but it just rained and rained and rained steadily. The village flooded again, water running down from the fields up behind the village. I imagine all of those ditches all along the road have been full of water and will still be filling with water. They're not for fibre or for any cables. That we'd know about it if they were, and they're not. I don't know what they'll do when they want to put fibre in now, because that's quite a deep ditch. It's like they'd have to dig deeper now to put cables in. So Ludo's coming back tomorrow. He was due to come yesterday, but obviously not to work in that rain. So he's coming back tomorrow. He's got a lot of hedge trimmings to pick up, but he's done a good job. Not cheap, but it needed doing, especially the big hedge all the way around the side of the house, the garden needed doing, and the top needed doing, and he didn't do that last year. He's talking about it. I said, I don't think you did it last year. So he had his sister with him on Monday, I think it was, that he was here. What's today? Wednesday? Yeah, Monday. He had his sister here leaning into his scaffold tower to hold it, because he's on a lean out on the road. There's a bit of sun breaking through. Oh, just in case you wondered, Ida is here. I'm not going to let you through the gate. The chicken I bought the other day, the pre-cooked chicken in a packet, which we had yesterday, was horrible. And I should have known. I do know. It's like when you pick stuff up when you're tired and hungry, which is what I was the other day. You don't make good choices. And the chicken, when I cut it up yesterday to serve up, I could tell that it had not had much of a life. There was no strength in the bones. There was no strength in the chicken. It would have been one of those chickens that had been bred really fast, raised really fast, and fed to be culled at probably 12 weeks, 3 months old, and in a factory. And I can just tell. And the problem is, I'm not used to eating food like that, so I didn't enjoy it, and I've still got some in the fridge to use. I think what I'm going to do with it tomorrow is make a chicken, potato and vegetable pie, just to get rid of it. I'll put lard on it as well, because it's not a lot. It's only a leg left, but I can't face eating it if I can see it, because it's it's just not good chicken. I feel guilty because some of the chicken I buy to cook I know hasn't been raised as well as I would like. And when we first got back into keeping chickens here and got going, we started raising our own chickens for food, and I bought back from the UK some Sasso eggs, which was a cross of two chickens, and I can't remember how they were crossed, but it was a Sasso egg, and the chickens that were hatched from that grew really quickly and really big. But so I had cockerels that at 16 weeks were like this, really, really heavy, but were free ranging. And so having a good life before they went off to be culled. I tried culling one of them myself, and I couldn't. I had no strength. Back then I had carpal tunnel syndrome and I didn't know it. So I had no strength in my hands to do what I needed to do, or to pluck them afterwards. So we resorted in raising our chickens and taking them to the local small animal abattoir. And then the man that ran that retired, so there was nowhere to take them, so we stopped. But we did begin raising our own chickens, and that way I knew that they had had a good life before they were culled. And of course, if anything happened, we'd go back to that and find a way of raising our own meat. I'd raise chickens, I'd raise rabbits, and because I'm a carnivore, so I can't imagine life without meat. So I felt really guilty about that awful chicken, thinking it had nothing. It was hatched into a factory and grown artificially for consumption, and that's horrible. So yeah, I'm quite tired again today. Yesterday I wasn't so tired. I sort of picked up and felt back to normal, and today I'm struggling again. I'm not really sure why. I've no idea why. I had a blood test on Monday. My results were not bad. My inflammation levels were not bad. Not as good as they have been, but not bad. So I don't know. Anyway, don't want to talk about politics. I won't be talking about Israel, Iran, Palestine, Lebanon. I don't understand it well enough to be able to talk about it. I'm very worried about it. Horrified that in this day and age people are still killing each other, dropping bombs on each other. Is it a man thing? Is it a man thing, or is it just me? Surely there are other ways to find ways to get on with people instead of killing them. Oh, it's a massive subject, isn't it? A massive subject. But yeah, so I won't be talking about that because I've watched a podcast last night, or listened to a podcast last night, and would need to listen to it again to have 20% understanding of what's going on. So I won't talk about it, but I'm aware of it. I'm not unaware of it. I'm also aware of Marine Le Pen facing criminal charges for misuse of EU money. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that she's found guilty, because if she is, she will not be able to carry on or serve or become president in the very near future, or even in the far future, I don't know. So I'm really pleased about that. I'm keeping my eye on that. Okay, that is all. Thanks for watching. Bye.